Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. This is me, your brother, your friend, Human Steven on the show. Uh, it's quite a very sunny afternoon, all the way from here. And I just saw that the network is favorable. I wanted to come outside in the morning, but the network was really bad. And now I just saw that it was working. So, okay, let me just jump in and drop a little bombshell, on on this today. What I want to say is this: I'm not so surprised at what the North are doing. I think this whole thing have been planned out for a very long time, and I think the government also have been colluding, according to Major General T.Y. Danjuma retired. There have been a collusion between the government and this set of people who are actually bent on making the South a conquered territory, according to the Sultan of Sokoto. Okay, the former Sultan of Sokoto was his name Amadou Bello. During the 1963 broadcast, when he said something that this country called Nigeria, this new country called Nigeria, is an estate given to their grandfather Usman Dan Fodio. They will use the middle belt at will and the south as a conquered, territory. So you guys will understand this. What is happening today in Nigeria is becoming more clearer. When some of us speaks, they call us conspirators or conspiracy theorists. That we are always quick at analyzing issues based on what we think in our heads. But as a matter of fact, every step we've been taking is always geared towards, believing, putting the right thing at the right place, and based on what happened on Thursday and Friday, between the borders of Kwara State and Niger State, it's a show that everything we'll be seeing in the last few years are facts, not just a conspiracy, not just an idea that just comes from our head, but these are facts that have been put in place over the time. Now, when the West, by our brother Chief Sunday Ibabo, decided to join his counterpart in the East and in the South in ejecting, take note of this very word, in ejecting the killer herdsmen from our forest. Let me make this very clear to the Fulanese, the peaceful Fulanese, or the peaceful Northerners. We aren't ejecting the Northerners from the South. We are ejecting the killer herdsmen from the South. We are ejecting the killer herdsmen from our forests. They've become a menace that we are not trying to cope with. They've become a sort of problem that we cannot actually be able to manage anymore. The South are now saying the best you guys can do, since you guys have not been able to identify these guys are actually, creating or causing this dent in the image of the Fulanese in Nigeria. You've not been able to fish them out. You've not been able to pinpoint them from the crowd. But we are saying the best you can do is to exit our forests, come into the town. let you guys be known, let you guys be noticed, let you guys be identified. And I think, as a matter of fact, it is not too much to ask for, despite we are one Nigeria, which is a mirage, anyways. With what is happening right now, it has just shown that one Nigeria is in the mind of the greedy fools. I was listening today to the Secretary General of this group of Amalgamated Foodstuff and Cattle Dealers Association. And he was vomiting around rubbish from his mouth. I wasn't bothered about what he was saying. But one thing that I was so much worried about is what is going to be the reply of the Southern Nigeria. I have been one of those who have been advocating for a united South. It's unfortunate I've not been able to join the group since I returned back here because of this network issue. Once it comes up tomorrow, now I'm just trying to rush. Maybe in the next 20 minutes now, the network will be gone. I can't do nothing anymore. But notwithstanding that, I am expecting a reply. If they stop the food from coming in, it is fantastic. I actually love the idea that this group of northern bandits have decided to cut off the supply of food from the north to the south. It is a wonderful idea. I would say bravo. You know the reason why? Because the southern part of the country called Nigeria is more fertile than the north. The truth of the matter is this: I met some guys from the north and Benue. They told me Edo does not have dry season. They came from Benue. Said we don't have dry season because rain has been falling since January. Since January, we have been having series of rain falling in Edo State and also in most part of the south. So we can actually do the agricultural cropping in the south far more better than what we get from the north. Our lands are also naturally fertile because of the massive vegetation that we have in the south, compared to the north, where everything is being done with fertilizer. Okay, if you leave a land right here in Benin City, for example, for just 6 weeks, you're going to become a forest. If you leave it for 1 year, I'm promising you're going to get an antelope inside that place. Just in a year, you're going to get an antelope in. You're going to get all sorts of animals in that very particular place. And the moment the leaves drops on the floor and they get decayed, they get decomposed, they create manure on the soil, natural manure. We have more ecological produce in the south than in the north. We have more lands because they might have more land space in the north, but half of the land they actually occupy in the north is desert area, which is not even good for crop production. But here in the south, every part of the south is just a crop growing ground. It's only in the south, in Benin in particular, that you see, grass or weeds as plantain, as banana, as pawpaw. Weeds that nobody planted them, they just grew and they become what they are. I bought a piece of land that I'm doing my little farming. I have over 10 pawpaw inside. Everywhere surrounding that place is filled with things that nobody actually planted. That is how fertile the land in the southern Nigeria is. My question is this: why are we begging to be fed by the northerners? Why do we have to continually rely on them because we see them as a lesser people than we do? Because we went to some 4 walls of a classroom that we cannot be able to use to take care of our families. We think farming has not become the thing for the uneducated. Let me shock you guys. The richest people in the world today are farmers. The guys who actually control the wealth of the world are into farming. There is nothing today that is being produced that does not have farm inside of it. So I'm going to advise you guys, based on what you just saw, you're going to have more of this nonsense coming from these people. It is high time the government of the South sit together, put your house together, invest in agriculture, bring the youth to the back again to the farm, invest in them, and make self-sufficiency. Enough of dependency on what we can actually produce. To the next level. Thank you, Jesus, for giving us a governor. Okay, on what we can actually produce. It is our time we say, okay, no, let's return back to the drawing board. Somebody is telling us between security and food, we should choose one. This is what this set of guys just did. We are asking the killer herdsmen to leave our forests. And they are saying, because we ask them to leave our forest, they're going to starve the South with their food produce. So they're indirectly telling you, for them to bring their food for you to buy, not to get freely, you must allow their people to rape your mother, rape your sister, rape your wife, kill your father, kill your brother, and kill your uncle. That is the only way you will get their food to the South to buy and eat. They are giving us a choice to make. They are also demanding 4.7 billion naira from the federal government. He said for the aftermath of the NSAS protest. And the destructions of lives and properties in the clashes that happened between the indigene and the Fulani in Ibadan, of your state. They are telling us that they bear the bond. They are telling us that they are being killed by the Southerners at the slightest provocations. But the truth of the matter is the other way around. We are the one that is hosting them in our communities. They kill us in Ogege here in Benin at Sapele Road. A young boy was killed, extrajudicially murdered by the Fulani community over a bike that they purposely said is stolen. At Ugu community in Iyekoriyomo, this killer herdsmen came out and killed members of the community and disappeared. Along Benin Auchi Road, we have heard of the atrocity that is being committed, which Sheikh Ahmed Gumi actually agreed to. And the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, also said that yet they actually commit those crimes, but all was in self-defense. My question is this: who are actually not the people that is bearing the bond, that is bearing, the bond of oppression? Is it the northerners who is coming to the south and kill a Satana, or a Satana who is in his hometown being killed by people who are actually migrating from other parts of the country to another place? I want to ask this same group of guys who are actually wanting to divide this nation into two. I'm coming there. Which Igbo man, which Yoruba man, which Edo man, which Urobo man, which Ibibio man living in the north, and for one day try to create any form of problem in the community where he lives in, where he's bought his land, build his home, and build his businesses? This same guy also said that they have allowed the South to live in the north without no stress. Sir, I want to ask you a very simple question. Is there any Southerner in the north that the northern government gave land to for free? Is there any Igbo man, any Yoruba man, any Benin man, any Esha man, Ibibio man, Kalabari man, Ijo man, Ishekiri, Urobo, Ibanke, all put together? Is there any one of them in the north that got a grant of a parcel of land, or that just went into your forest, cleared a parcel of land, and built a shop on it without the permission of the government? If there is none, therefore, the quest for the northerners from the south are asking us to allow people to occupy our forests without us not even knowing who they are becomes suspicious. Many might decide to keep quiet over this, but some of us who sees and feels this is not right will always come out to tell the truth the way it is and how it ought to be. With what happened on Thursday and Friday is a clear indication that we are never one Nigeria and we will never be one Nigeria. That's the truth of the matter there. The Northerners have just drawn the first straw for a successional Nigeria. And I expected my Southern brothers to retaliate. But rather, as I see them fighting each other, as I see them creating unnecessary, drama on the social media space over what this said or what this did not say. See, as I see our brothers acting as if what is actually happening today in the north had nothing to do with them because of one grievances or the other that they have with one of our brother or the other. And that is really getting to people like me who feels or who understand that the unity of the South is paramount at a time where the North is uniting together against the divided South. This guy, who is their secretary of the Amalgamated Foodstuffs and Cattle Dealers Association, also said they've written to the presidency, they've written to the Senate, to the House of Rep, to the military, to the Minister of Defense, to the Minister of Interior. They went as far as writing to the United Nations Secretary He went as far as writing to the American Parliament. He went as far as writing to the United Kingdom Parliament. And many others. And they said they also wrote the 19 Northern State government before they embarked on the action that it took last Friday. That shows that President Muhammadu Buhari, the Secretary to the Federal Government, Boss Mustafa, the Interior Minister, the Minister of Defense, the Inspector General of Police, the Chief of Defense Staff, and all these people to the Senate and the House of Reps, and the 19 state governors in the North were actually aware of the action that this group of guys took against the counterpart South. But the certain leaders who are in the Senate or in the House of Reps or in the government of today kept quiet for political correctness. Say nothing, do nothing, hear nothing. They act as if whatsoever happens to the South had nothing to do with them, since they're already living in Abuja. Let me tell you guys something very clearly. A slave remains a slave. It does not matter what you think. If you're a slave, it will get to a point. Even when you live with a master, you will be treated as a slave. Are we going to continue to depend on these people for survival? Why have our people not blocked the exportation of oil to the North? Why have we not put a barricade to all the trailers coming from the North to the South? Why have we not stopped it from going out of the South? Why have we not stopped every oil explorations from the South? To send a very sound, significant warning to these bandits in the North. The government was aware of it. Yeah, the defense echo came up and said, yeah, we've actually, stopped the old menace and all that and that. And at the end of the day, videos were circulating all over the social media space where foods were now being taken to Niger, to Niger, to Cameroon, and to Chad. The guy who said we have actually discovered a new market for our produce. And woe betide any certain governor that will come out and say these people should bring their food back to the South. Let this just be the marking point. If I was a governor, I would have made an executive order. No trailer of cows or food from the North will ever come into my state. I will force my state to eat the little they have until they start producing. I will make sure that every family in this state will start producing food for them to feed. No cow will come to this state and no food stuff from the North will come. If I was the governor, I will put an executive order ban for anything to come in. If you can't produce, then stay in hunger. After all, Buhari locked the entire border. Nigerians did not die. We survived. Thank God we are now in the planting season. We still have time. Planting season is going to start in April. So at least we still have 1 week or 2 weeks to go and clear those lands. We left following. Just like want to build a house on that we have not been able to do that. Just go to that land and plant something on it. It will germinate and you get something to eat. Relying on these people makes them feel that they are above everybody. Imagine somebody killing you, still telling you, if you don't like what I'm doing, I will stop feeding you. That is an attitude of a master to a slave. Guys, get it clearly. That is the mentality of a master to a slave. So when you see these guys acting as if they are above the law, it is the mentality that have been inculcated into them that they are masters to the South. So they've just displayed this arrogancy to the glory of the entire world. And today, the presidency have said nothing. Let it be if it was in the South that happened. They would have sent army to kill those guys. Let it be it was in the East that it happened. Maybe a helicopter would have been flying around the entire borders of the East with the North. The Easterners would have been killed without no mercy. But today, these guys are so bold to say, until we allow the killer herdsmen to remain in the South, they will deprive or stop their people from sending down their produce to the South. My take is this: let all Fulani herders, leave the South. Let them return back to the North. If you're a businessman in the North, you guys, sometimes when I speak here, I don't speak as one who is too much catch up with my ethnicity, or who so much glued. No. I told people, I said, one thing, Steve, we hardly do is to build a home outside Edo State. I've said it many times. One thing I still do is to build a home outside my state. No matter how poor Edo is in this state, mentality of our people. Some of us who sees a little bit further understood that and this is a clear indication that the North had never seen the South as one entity. Rather, the North sees the South as a conquered territory, where if you refuse to obey the master used the hunger strike methodology of the slave masters on the subject. During the era of the slave master, this is what was happening. When the slave want to revolt against the masters, they operate on first the fear methodology. They instigate fear into them by killing one or two of the slaves in the presence of the entire slave. Okay? So when they do that, those slaves that saw this brutal murder of their fellow slaves would decide to maintain. So the rampaging killer herdsmen were actually operating on the principle of fear methodology. They've instigated fear in the heart of every southern Nigerian that if you dare try as much as possible to defend yourself, we will come after the vulnerable in the society. We massacre them. When they do that, even the able bodies will be scared to retaliate. Even when the able bodies want to retaliate, the aged ones, the sick ones, the vulnerable ones, the weak ones will be begging them, please do not do this, because if you do, they are going to come back after us. The fear methodology of the slave masters to the slave. Then number two is the hunger methodology of the slave masters. Now, during the era of the slave, listen, guys, when the slaves want to revolt against their masters, what the master does, or what they do, was to make them to go on hunger for days, and yet force them to work while they were in that condition. So the weak ones, who are actually mostly the elderly ones, and the children who could not bear the burden of the hunger, will succumb to the demands of the slave masters. And even the able-bodied one cannot be able to take this for a long time. To get to a point, they will break down and begin to beg for water. It is called the hunger methodology. So these are the two methods that these guys have actually brought up to bring the South to their knees. They succeeded in driving our aging mothers from the forest. They don't go to farm anymore because they'll be raped. The men will be killed. They finally succeeded in destroying our goods. Our forests have been taken over by these guys. Our crops have been eaten up by the animals. Now we have little or nothing to go back home to. So we are not dependent on the importation of foodstuffs from the north to the south. Okay, guys? Now, having instigated fear in the minds of our people, they did not come with the hunger methodology. We will give them food no more until they accept our demands. We will give them food no more until they decide to say, we agree to your demands. Kill us, but just let us have some food to eat. This is where the government comes in. The northern governors are defending the atrocities of these bandits, the tourists. The northern clergymen are defending the activities of these guys. But in the south, our governors are quick to arresting our own who wants to defend the defenseless, who wants to speak for the voiceless. Our government are the first that picks them up and throw them into dungeons just to be on a good book of the masters that being at Abuja. Their people will be killed. Committees upon committees will be set up. None, not even one, will be arrested or persecuted for the crime that was committed against the people. For example, what happened at Owerri today? Have they actually decided, as the police, as of today, investigated and to bring those people that actually took laws into their hands in the killing of that innocent boy that led to that fracas in Owerri, in Bubaka local government area of Benin City, Edo State? Have they actually come up to tell the people, yes, the guys who committed that murder are now facing justice? All we could hear from them is let peace reign. But somebody was killed. If, and I repeat clearly, without no missing words, if the guy that was killed was from the Fulani extraction, I can promise you that Owerri community as of today would have been in disarray. They would have returned back, planned a reprisal attack, and attacked the community, killing the vulnerables and the children. But the government has called for peace. And the law-abiding citizens of Owerri and Edo State have decided to allow peace to reign. But yet the same group of people are saying they want to be compensated for the deaths that occurred during they said they killed over 100 people during the NSAS. Where? In which part of the country? What has NSAS actually got to do with the North? These guys are just unbelievable, guys. It was we, the Southerners, that were actually killed by the Northern soldiers at the Lekki toll gate and other parts of the country. The Northern were never actually in support of the NSAS protest. How were they not killed in their hundreds? Statements like this are what instigate violence in the North. Statements like what Sheikh Ahmed Gumi said, that is the Christian soldiers that are killing the Northern bandits. He said the Northern Muslim bandits. The Southern Christian soldiers are the ones killing the Northern Muslim bandits. These are statements they make that ignite and set the entire nation on fire. The government of President Muhammadu Buhari will say nothing about it. Garba Shehu will say nothing. And this guy, Femi Adesina, that bumfoo, will say nothing. But when a statement is being made, trying to counter whatsoever is happening in the North, or being said by these unpatriotic Nigerians, this group of people calling themselves presidency, we come out in defense of the people. Just like what Senator Abaribe said, are we actually having the same law for the North and the South? The bandits in the North are being negotiated with, whereby the IPOB in the Southeast are being killed. Whereas the military have not been able to tell us how many people have been murdered by the IPOB. You might not like Kano Wanko. I don't give a hook about that. You might not like the IPOB. I don't give a shit about it. But if we are not operating on the same level of honesty on both sides, that is my problem. They are looking for Sunday. On Friday, a few days ago, Sunday, Ibabo was about to be arrested by the operative of the DSS, the military and the police, on his way to Lagos for a meeting with the elders of the Yoruba nation. But people like Sheikh Ahmed Gumi is working freely after he had made such an instigating, violent, freaking language against the Christian South, which might ignite a religious and an ethnic war in Nigeria. The government says nothing, do nothing, hear nothing. Do you think today, if the Satan decides to block the movement of tankers from the south to the north, I promise you, not even doing it, if the government just hear that there is a planned protest in the south over the movement of petroleum product from the south to the north, in the next 24 hours, the entire southern Nigeria will be filled with soldiers. And the Southerners will be killed in their numbers. You guys just feel like, come on, guys, I'm getting pissed off with my Southern brothers. Do you know why? We fight things that are quite very irrelevant. We leave the main issues and we deal with issues that are of no consequences, of no value to us as a people. We are being treated in a nation where we actually own as a second-class citizen. We are being treated as if we are not Nigerians in Nigeria. We are scared to speak because when we know when we speak, we will be thrown into the dungeon. But others who speak in other parts of the country, they will be applauded. Even when they are saying things that will tear the nation into pieces. If you stop the importation of food to the south, then the south should stop the importation of oil to the north. Let everyone live on their own resources. Let everyone live on their own resources. Because it is high time the restructuring or the dissolution of this nation we have been clamoring for. It's high time our leaders actually sit down and start seeing the handwriting on the wall. When Evans, the kidnapper, was arrested, he was actually arrested by Satan. Okay? He was actually arrested by Satan. And we're actually worried if he was from the south or not. We do not defend or support any form of criminality in the south. When our brother, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, made a mistake, we actually sold him out to the north. The Yoruba did. Because we believe in justice, equity, and fairness. But the Northerners do not see anything wrong in the evil being committed by their people. Rather, they find every means possible to defend their people. They find every means possible to defend their people over the evil that they are committing against other part of the nation. Like I'm speaking, I'm going to tell you this. Maybe this video is going to be wow. And many certain are going to say, what is he saying? Why is he instigating a breakup? Nobody's doing that. The North just did. Do you know what it is for you, the same nation, not two different nations, to stop the movement of food, of goods and services from a nation to another nation? From a nation to, from a state, part of a nation to the other part of a nation. That is the process of succession. If you don't know that, guys, like I just said, if the South decided to do the same and stand in their borders between the North and the South, I said, no tanker, no petroleum tanker moves, and every pipe that have been laid from the Niger Delta into Kaduna and other part of the North are being locked up, that no fuel or no petroleum product is being exported through the pipes to the North. What do you think we just declared? We would have just declared secession. So if guys who are just, they don't understand what these guys are doing right now, I am telling you, they just called for the breakup of Nigeria. They just told Buhari that we are tired of being one Nigeria. We need a separate nation. That is why immediately they did that. Within 2 days, they found another market in Niger, they found another market in Chad, and they found another market in Cameroon. It means the action that they took was not just spontaneous. It was a calculated plan. They've already figured out all this over the years before they decided to take the action that they took. For me, I think it is a wonderful one. Hit what you can produce. The shark should wake up. Fish are more nutritious, particularly when you are now 40 and above. You'll be advised to eat less of blooded meat and eat more of meat without no blood, where chicken and fish actually comes in. Snail is becoming the best source of protein for people of a higher age. So why are we still so much interested, so much glue to eating beef when we have goats, we have chickens, we have fishes, we have snails, and other very proteinous, nutritious animals in the South? I begin to wonder, why have we decided? When I was growing up, we hardly eat the yam we call Hausa yam. When I was growing up, that's the truth of the matter there. I grew up in Benin. My dad was a farmer. My grandma was a farmer. We hardly eat the yam. We call them Hausa yam then. We hardly eat it. Many years back, all the yams you see are these yams, with red sand on it. You see in our markets. But today, go to all our markets. All the yams you can see are yams from the north. The reason is our people have decided to leave their traditional way of occupation, which was farming, that cannot actually put foods on their table. If you sit in an office whereby you're being paid 70,000 naira in a month, and as of today, based on what I read from the comment section of one of my friends, a basket of tomatoes is not 35,000 naira. So how are you going to manage your 70,000 to not take care of you and your family? But if you decided to go into farming, not even in the commercial purpose, but just for family consumption, at the back of your house, that land you've not built, you can plant tomatoes there. And at the end of the year or the season, you can be able to harvest some certain number of tomatoes that will take you for a certain period of time. This is how we actually grew up while we're growing up. Living the feeding of the entire state in the hands of some few people who are actually greedy and self-centered, we are mad to what you are experiencing right now. They will tell you what they want, and if you don't do it, they will come in this manner. I am saying this now, if they like, let them stop even the air from the north from blowing into the south. Let killer herdsmen leave our forest. If they can't fish them out, if they can't hand over this group of people to the police, because they know them, then both the innocent ones and the good ones should leave our forests. And for goodness sake, non-human being in the 21st century actually lives in the forest. I don't know where people will say that is their life. Before now, many people live in the forest. Civilization has made many of us to live the archaic life, the primitive life, to this modern life. So I will not expect any government or any leader of any ethnic nationality in Nigeria to see promulgate, encourage this barbaric way of life where family and their children actually still lives and dwell in forests like animals. That's why they go around raping people, because they don't have a normal life. When their sex urge gets into their head, they will look for an innocent certain woman to rape. There's a story I just read yesterday of how they raped women in Ibadan. Different women were coming up, explaining their ordeals with this group of people. They come to them, ask them for water. The way they give them water, as they are turning around, they hit them with machete. While they're unconscious, they rape them. If you know that the life that these guys are living is not actually working for them, why not find a way, as their people who are now in government, to bring them away from that barbaric way of life? That barbaric way of life, and teach them the new modern way of living. We are saying, let them keep their food. We will not succumb. The killer herdsmen must leave our forest. Our leaders should stand by their words. Don't be moved by this petty threat from these people. We have human rights many years back, but today we've sold all the lands for building. There was a time we have human rights in Edo State. Today is gone. Edo was more like a food basket. Today, all the lands have been sold for buildings. Development have overtaken the place. No plan have been made for sustenance when agriculture is concerned. And the government needs to step up and do the needful before we are being overrun by these people one day. Thank you, guys. That's much I can go this afternoon. My name is Humani Steven. I am right here in the city of Benin, and I am broadcasting live from this very particular city. I want to say this right now. We need to start speaking in one voice as a Satana. No matter the differences, we must speak in one voice, defend ourselves, and make the things we need to do work. We are believing strongly that in a short period of time, lives will become more better and more better. God bless you guys. Have a blessed day, and bye for now.